Guys, we're out here at Meadow Valley. We're going to do a bike review on my brand new 2023 CRF250r. And then my buddy Kollin Lund's his 22.5 Husky 250. We're going to do a couple test rides. We're going to see what we feel on both the bikes and give you guys a review. All right, so we're going to go right now on our own bikes. We're going to do a couple laps, see how we feel, and then we're going to switch bikes out there and we're just going to do a couple laps again. And then when we come back, we'll do a review and see what we think of each bike. We just got done riding our own bikes, and now we're gonna switch, see what we think. Are you pumped on it?
I'm excited to ride that thing. I've heard a lot of good things about it. I haven't ridden a Honda in a long time. I've been on the Husky bikes for 7 years or 6 years or whatever it's been, so
yeah, these bikes are definitely different, so it's gonna be a cool comparison to see the major differences between the two. So all right, we just got off each other's bikes. What do you think about the 250 Honda?
well, I was screaming when I got out because I was pumped. And there's some rut dragging on the swing arm over there, so that's pretty exciting. But right away we both were struggling a little bit on thinking they just were a little bit different. We hadn't ridden those bikes in a long time and totally different chassis and everything. But 2 laps in, got really comfortable. Honestly, the power, once I figured out how to use the power, it had a little lag right away, but once it got in, it was like a really smooth delivery, where I was used to the Husky is like the power hits really quick, so you can trust it as soon as you touch the throttle, but you just gotta change your mindset a little bit on the Honda. And front end I felt like it was a lot heavier than the Husky. I felt like the front wanted to just like almost cut down really hard. It was really heavy, so I had to stay on the throttle to keep that level. But once you figure that out, it was just a different riding style, and that thing worked. I mean, I loved it.
For sure. To me, when I initially got on the bike, the Husky, the whole riding triangle is totally different.
Oh, yeah.
I felt like I was sitting more on top of the bike. The Honda felt like I was kind of like sitting in it.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like it's kind of like just totally different feel to like the frame and just the seat. The ergonomics of it's just way different.
Mm-hmm.
So like he said, the first lap on the Husky, I was like, things feels kind of off, and then it just took a couple laps to kind of get the groove in, and hit the corners. Because like he said, the Honda's front end's a lot more heavy, so you're riding in that front end a little bit more. The Husky, you're kind of on the rear of the bike, so it's better in flat corners.
You feel like it was softer on the rear, like the rear on the Husky was just all around, like just set in a little bit lower, and like it was soaking it up more, or it just was overall just not as bounced, like it wasn't hopping as much?
I think for sure it was soaking up when you're coming around flat corners and stuff. It wasn't. To me, it felt like the Honda was almost like picking.
Yeah.
The rear end was like picking up.
Off the ground. Yeah. Yep.
And that could be just a suspension change here and there. Maybe that would fix it.
Yep.
But overall, that's just what we felt like. Of course, his bike, he has 8-kit forks on it, so maybe that would make a little bit of difference with the suspension feel.
Yeah.
Other than that,
running like 104 sag, we had the bike balance kind of very, very, very similar. I think you have like line 2 roughly on the Honda for the forks.
Right.
So they're about the same balance wise. So that shouldn't be a huge difference.
Right. And so, and going back to the power, like you said earlier, the power is just, the way the power hits on each bike is just different. So to me, it felt like the Honda, it was consistent in each gear. It was just like a constant drag.
Yeah.
I felt like it depended on what gear you're in on the Husky, it was different. So like second gear fell off quicker, but once you got past second gear, it pulled all the way. Yeah.
The bike handles different when it's in third, when it's in second, where Honda was kind of handled the same in every gear, just depending on where you wanted the power to be.
Right. So overall, I think they're both solid bikes. It's whatever you get comfortable on. That's the way I look at it. You can get comfortable on any bike, you'll be fast. Yeah. So straight out of the box, the Honda was a solid bike. Could use some upgrades if you're looking for more speed and just more power for sure. But other than that, for the 2023, it's a solid bike. And for the 2022.5, that's also a solid Husky. So I don't know, they're both bikes. Both really good bikes.
The brakes on the Honda were really good too, for just bone stock. We had an oversized rotor on the Husky as well, so he was comparing that to that, and honestly, they felt very similar.
Pretty similar, yeah. I didn't really feel much different on the front brake feel, so
no.
Which is pretty impressive for Honda if you think about it. You're running an oversized on the Husky, and then
Brembos.
Honda's bone stock, so I would say that's a plus.
Yeah.
But other than that,
got a cable clutch, which was different to get used to.
Right, that too.
Wasn't bad, but it's just different, especially with the power leg and then the cable clutch. It was just a different feel. Yeah,
so that could be a game changer for someone too if they are really, really keen on the clutch feel. Husky's kind of almost like an on-off switch to me. The Honda's obviously cable, so you got that cable feel. So it's pretty linear, just kind of drag it out if you want. But for a 250, I don't really think it makes that big of a difference.
No, you're on and off with those suckers.
Right. Yeah. But, well, I think that was a solid review. Out there for what, maybe 20 minutes?
20, sure. Yeah, 20-minute moto.
Yeah, so it was solid, but yeah, both good bikes.
We'll swap back now and see what the difference is again.
Yep. Just put some motos in.